What's up, y'all? It's just Rhonda. Welcome to my channel. We're going to call this the 5 o'clock traffic stop. If you're on the West Coast, it's going to be your lunchtime check-in. Yeah, I'll probably do this a little more often. I'll check in with y'all around traffic time, see what's going on. Today we got Married to Medicine on the agenda. It's season 11. It's episode 15. Y'all like the video, subscribe to my channel, and let's get into this situation that was going on over here at Married to Medicine. It's the Georgetown anniversary ball. Toya and Eugene. Toya and Eugene are over here with, all the things that they got planned for their 16th anniversary. You made it. You made it, Big Body Bookum. That makes me feel very happy to know you're here. It's just me and you right now. So, it is what it is. The other people check in when they check in. And right now, we're going to talk about Married to Medicine. Now, I don't know if you've seen it, but, feel free to chime in whenever you get ready to. It's the anniversary party, and Toya is meeting up with her event planners and things, and she's going over what she would like to have over here at her party. And she's saying that she wants a $25,000 budget. Please don't go any higher than $25,000. And I'm like, I feel like she spent the $25,000 in the first two things that she mentioned. She wants horses and carriages and flowers and pigs with apples in their mouths and things. And I'm like, Toya, tell them, what you want, and then you might need to up your budget. I feel like she upped her budget. She's not going to say, but Toya's definitely not going to sacrifice her party for a couple few $1,000s. So whatever the party planners needed, I'm pretty sure Toya, did what she needed to do to make things happen. She says the Lunsfords have not yet responded to the RSVP. And I'm like, why not? That's so rude. You over here still contemplating whether you want to go or not want to go when you know you want to go, especially Sweet Tea. And I feel like in order to get a Bridgerton inspired look, it's going to take a little while. You can't just run down to the mall and buy you a Bridgerton outfit. You have to place orders for wigs and things. And she looked like she prepared a little bit. Quad and King have accepted because, I guess at this point we figured out like whether or not we're going to press charges and police activity. So irritating every time I have to think about it. So Dr. Eugene and his little baby naive wife went out to eat because they need to discuss whether or not they want to still engage with this friend group. I feel like Sweet Tea had a Freudian slip. She sat up there and called that man her king. And I was like, this is proof that Quad lives rent-free in her head. Because why is she calling him her king when he was over here trying to get the real king thrown in jail for taking his shirt off? Because that seems to be the main thing he's focused on. He didn't really talk too much about how the man came at me or tried to swing at me or any of the other activities that were surrounded around this vicious attack. All I know is the man took off his shirt and everything went left after that. He said, don't call him that. I bet that just as much as Sweet Tea is over here thinking about, what's this lady's name? Quad. What's up, girl? Hey, Shayna. Y'all, if you want to catch some good reviews, you need to check out my girl, Shayna. She's over there being studious in things and entertaining at the same time. I feel like I love her because her humor is just as snarky as mine, just a little bit nicer. Child, we talking about these daggone Married to Medicine and how Sweet Tea and Dr. Greg can't go to sleep at night without thinking about Quad and her king. It's creepy. Sweet Tea says they're going to have to decide, if they're going to this party or what. I feel like things have been decided. I don't know what this meeting is they're having over here about whether or not they should still engage with this group of people. But it feels like the group of people have made their, feelings pre-known. Like they don't like it. They don't like what you're doing over here. Now you're making it weird for everybody. So now we have to make all these arrangements just because little Dr. G is, so emotional. Dr. G is a psychiatrist. Can you imagine having him as like your psychiatrist for yourself or for anybody that you care about? I can't imagine what it would be like engaging with Dr. G. It's kind of scary, especially if you're a woman. What kind of nonsense is he going to be over there saying to, people and charging them money for it? They need to have a discussion about that, about, how to choose the right psychiatrist, psychologist, and all of these people that, be trying to get in your head while they're cuckoo kadoo over here sitting on high chairs down to the restaurant with his little baby sweet tea wife. It's very strange how they sit up here and are completely baffled and thrown off by why these people have decided that they don't really, co-sign the nonsense that's over there. Do you think Quad will be gone, though? I don't know. I think they really have to choose. And I mean, is it really like something, a hard choice? I don't think it's a choice. Anyway, I get distracted easy. Sweet Tea says she doesn't know where she's at with the group. Sweet Tea is delusional. I mean, girl, you were never really a part of the group as far as I'm concerned. They kind of brought you over here to irritate Quad, kicked her off, and then don't need you no more. Because you told Jackie to go F off. That was a big mistake. You can't blame that on Quad. You were over here telling Jackie to F off. She keeps acting like she has these attachments over here. And I'm like, so who are your connection with? It's not Jackie. You told her to F off. And so that's a no. She's out. Heavenly's out. We know you don't have no connection with Heavenly. Simone is going to do whatever Jackie and Heavenly do. And what do you really have in common with Simone? There's only so much Simone with her loud self. I feel like she's very busy. I feel like Simone be working and doing this show. Quad is not your connection over here. And Toya, I don't really think Toya sees it for you like that, Sweet Tea. And she definitely does it now. Now she's definitely on some whatever. Contessa, this is what I feel about Contessa and Sweet Tea's relationship. I think that Contessa doesn't want to look like she's only befriending this girl to be on the show. Her loud ass, Contessa. You and Sweet Tea are not friends. You over there still like, I don't know what you and Dr. Scott over there pretending to be doing, but girl. Yeah, you could tell. I feel like they both want to stay on the show, but you came over there with trying to make, enemies with Quad. This man is off the hinges. Just like Dr. Scott said, it's been 7 years since they've been divorced. He should definitely not be this wrapped up in whatever Sweet Tea has got going on. Sweet Tea says she doesn't feel right getting iced out. And I'm like, you didn't have a problem with it when Quad was getting iced out. So, I mean, there you go. You can't ice out people, I feel like, if there are genuine relationships with them. I don't know what their issue is with Quad, but clearly she still kept doing her thing while she wasn't on the show. I don't know. I don't really feel sorry for Sweet Tea or, and I think Dr. Greg is crazy. Sweet Tea thinks they're blaming her. She says, they're blaming me for what my husband did. And I'm like, well, y'all are kind of a package deal. And Greg is not the only one over there fighting. You be trying to physically like come in heavily, and I know she's nerve wracking. You know she ain't if gonna fight. Not for real. That's the thing. Like I feel like Sweet Tea has enough mouth on her to handle Dr. Heavenly. I mean, they was over there going very low, but all of that wolfing up at each other, it's starts to be stressful to watch. I don't think the men have a problem with anything. The men were just fine. Dr. Greg says the group is a mess. No, not the men's part. They were fine until you came over here. What's his name? Dr. Eugene was actively telling King how it's really cool having you around. We really enjoy your company. And King was saying, you know, thank you. You guys have been very cool. Also welcoming me into the group. And then Dr. Little Bitty Pipsqueak Greg had to be like, well, I didn't really feel like you were welcome. You haven't been here this whole time. You came back last season. So I feel like, you know, you don't even really have a strong voice in anything that's going on over here. But you definitely wanted to change the mood. Then you told him that, you know, you told his wife to shut her fat effing mouth. And now you're sitting at this high chair talking about, oh my God, I don't know what happened. Why they think, you know, this is my fault. I'm really hurt by these guys. He thinks that Dr. G thinks that him and Sweet Tea are the only ones putting forth effort. And I was like, what is the effort that they were putting forth? They're putting forth effort to do what? To be a part of the group, to not cause problems in the group. Which effort is it that they're putting forth? I don't know. She know. I wish she would say so. Or is she just over here like standing by her man? I get the whole stand by your man thing, but when you get home, you should be able to say the truth. He's not going to hear it because she's just a naive young girl who doesn't know anything. And he's a smart psychiatrist doctor, so she should be seen and not heard, Sweet Tea. The people are getting ready for this event. Everybody's at their house, you know, getting their costumes together. Is it just me? Am I the only one that feels like every time Scott and Contessa have a scene together, it feels uncomfortable? Scott, honestly, I don't mind so much with the group. He makes a lot of sense with the group. Book said facts. Facts on what? That you should be able to like tell the truth. You hold each other down on the streets. And when you get home, you should be able to say what the truth is. Yes. You think they'll be divorced in 5 years? I don't know. I just feel like I don't know. They might be one of them we've been together for 40 years types of people, just, you know, so they can say they've been together for 40 years. All I know is for me, it's weird now. I wish Contessa hadn't came over here and told us all her business and then took it back, like her friend Dr. Heavenly. I don't like Dr. Scott's wig. I was definitely not mad at his Bridgerton, whatever you call it, costume. It's a costume. I wasn't mad at it, but his wig was making me think of Little Richard and other stuff, not what do you call it? Bridgerton. It's the day of the event, and Tisha and Greg have still not responded. And I'm like, that is so rude. So you clearly are planning to come surprise these people, although that was a big fail. Why would you not say something, especially when you know this lady is over here stressing about the tension between the two, you know, couples? So can you please say whether you're coming or what you're doing so I'll know how to handle it? Seems like Toya figured that out without any help. She decided she was just going to stagger them. And you come in the cocktail hour since you don't want to respond to my text, and then Quad and King can come afterwards. I honestly didn't at the beginning because last week when they now my brain just went off track. Last week, when they were discussing the party and I seen the venue, I was very let down by what I was seeing, but they bamboozled me. So this week, I realize now that these people were only invited to do all this Bridgerton costuming just to be able to come here for an hour. That's embarrassing. I wonder if you contemplated that over on that little high chair at the restaurant. Or if you did you see that coming? Quad and King RSVP'd. That's why they're actually invited to the party. See how that works? Whoever gets back to me first gets the best side of the party. I'm sure everybody would have much rather party with Quad and King anyway. So the guests start arriving. They're all in these horse and carriages, and that's when I knew the budget was upped. Mimi and Steve, they look on theme. I'm not mad at it. I wanted it to be real Bridgerton. They looked on theme, and Steve said he felt like Django, and I was like, close enough. Close enough. Simone, what's her name? Toya said it, and I was thinking it. Simone definitely looked like she was attending somebody's quinceañera, all the way down, like the hair. She didn't do no research. She just was like big dresses. I don't watch Bridgerton. I'm a busy doctor. Just pull my hair back. I appreciate it because her edges don't always be cooperating. She's not a hair girl. Jackie didn't disappoint. Jackie came through like, it was a whole Cinderella moment. I was here for it. As much as Jackie irritates me, I love her fashions a lot of the times. She could have done something different with her hair, but I guess, I guess they did that back then too, but I really wish she would have went, more fancy, more Shirley Temple curls, more spirally situation with the hair. Contessa, for me, she's always tacky. She's basically on brand with a lot of too much of whatever it was and a big mouth. She has to announce herself. The queen is here. You're not the queen, girl. It's not your birthday. Shut your mouth. I feel like every single time there's a camera on, you can hear Contessa's mouth even when she's not there. So Sweet Tea and Dr. Greg arrive, and which was supposed to be a big surprise, I guess. It was I mean, they came up the stairs. He's dressed as George Washington, and she's dressed as the help. It looks like, in those movies from back in the day where, the poorer people, when they got fancy, they just weren't quite as fancy as the wealthy people, just like now. So she looked like she came to work there with George Washington. I feel like she put in an effort, though. She was definitely not like Simone. She was giving Bridgerton for sure. Her hair was good. Anyway, they showed up and they thought, hey, we'd like for the party. And then Mimi said, Dr. Mimi, her friend that she brought over here, was like, here come the mess. And I don't know if she meant the mess like what they look like together or the mess they were probably going to bring. Nobody had that response when King and Quad showed up. They were like, oh no, here comes the mess. So I don't know if you watch Bridgerton, but there's this gossip, little pamphlet that goes out that's very shady and be telling people's business, something like the Inquirer or something. And then T decided that she was going to orchestrate the delivery of these pamphlets at Toya's birthday party. That's interesting. I hope she checked in with. First, you don't even say you're coming until the last minute, or you don't say, you just show up. And then you bring somebody with shady pamphlets. Okay. I mean, I guess this is what the pamphlet stated. Heavenly has a big mouth and she tells everybody's business but their own. Yes, this is not new information, so your tea ain't really that hot. Quad got kicked out and came back with a new man, a king even. And all the people are obsessed with the relationship of her new man and her ex-husband. Is that what you see? I don't know that they're obsessed with it. It's watching your husband crash out is not so bad when you don't have to go home with him, but that's your thing, girl. Curtis was out here putting his hands around Heavenly's wife in vacation and not Dr. Jackie. He did have his hand on Dr. Jackie in that picture, and he was touching Heavenly's waist, but it was nothing like when he pulled Toya down on his lap when she was wearing those little booty shorts. I'm still get uncomfortable watching that one. So is Dr. Curtis, It's Jackie's husband, Curtis. Is he handsy? Seemed like it. It seemed like every time Curtis makes a mistake, it happens, in front of the camera where there's evidence and things. He should just, stand in the corner with his hands in his pockets, like Toya said. Letitia says that she can coexist with these ladies, except for they keep targeting her. She put that in the pamphlet. It sounds like she don't want to, take accountability for the mess. No, she doesn't. She said y'all keep targeting her. How are you going to coexist with people that's targeting you? That don't even make sense. I'm about to be out. If you're targeting me, I don't have to be over here. I can have other places to be. That's what she said in the restaurant. I don't have to beg anybody to be my friend. I can just, do my own thing. Okay. Look like that's what you're going to be doing. And why, like I said, would you want to be somewhere where people are targeting you? That don't even make sense, girl. Simone says she's making us the bad guys. Y'all are the bad guys. Like, both of those things are true. She is. She's not owning any of her own stuff. However, you guys are the bad guys. Y'all put her in a position to watch her crash out. Heavenly, the board of directors, Jackie, y'all had her down there at the what was that, sandbar down in Key West when they were having their pool party relationship session, and somebody thought it would be a great idea to sit Dr. G and Sweet Tea right directly behind Quad and her man, like if they couldn't sit nowhere else. So, yeah, that seems like that's bad guy stuff. It was your party, Dr. Simone. So the guys are standing around with Greg and they're asking him, like, this is Curtis. Curtis made it back from the Dominican Republic just for he can be the leader of the group. Dr. Damon can't be the leader because him and Dr. Greg are on the outs. So he's definitely not listening to his voice of reason. And Cecil doesn't do that. Cecil's like come on, guys, let's get along, guys. Let's smoke some cigars and have some fun, guy. And Dr. Eugene, I really think Dr. Eugene is like, I don't like the cop calling thing. And so I don't really want to get in this mess. But if we're going to keep talking, Dr. Scott, he's open. He has some good advice, I suppose, as long as it doesn't involve Contessa. I guess we'll see. I don't know what it is that's supposed to happen because he's supposed to have a sit down with King. But I feel like he really wants to get something out of Quad. And what King is saying is don't even talk to her. Just don't do that. Jeez. I don't even know what they're deciding. Are they going to sit and decide what? That we're going to do stuff together without watching this little nigga crash out? I don't think that's possible. And I mean, we haven't seen him for all these seasons. We haven't seen Dr. Greg. He's been gone, what are they at? Season 11. He's been gone since, season 5, I think. So him coming back and fitting in with the group, I don't understand why we're pressing this. And maybe if he had a wife who was more in their age group and, I don't know, more mature, even if Sweet Tea is freaking 20 years younger than him, so they not even on the same page in no kind of way. But if he has somebody that maybe would blend in with these ladies better, it would be different. And she's definitely not making Quad jealous of anything. So yeah, they need to reevaluate this situation. What does this man say? He likes to pride himself on being a very rational and reasonable human. We've not ever seen him do that. The fact that he's over here is not rational. So stop with that. We're not rational and reasonable. When you're reasonable, you don't call the police get people job jeopardized. Now Andy Cohen and all these people have to sit down and have meetings about whether or not they're going to be able to sit down and let this man come film and things. You cause a lot of problems, Dr. Greg. Simone says, do you think Greg understands that the things that he said were flammable? And Curtis is like, yeah, I think he did. No, he didn't. Not Curtis, Cecil. No, he didn't. He didn't say any of that. He didn't even actively say it out of his mouth. Now, I don't know why Tessa felt the need to go have a conversation with T and ask her, like, don't you want to stay for the rest of the party? And she's like, no, they said I have to leave. Yes, you had a conversation with this lady because she said, and the day before the party, Toya still called and reached out to this girl and she gave her I don't know what we're doing. Okay, well, how about this? Since you don't know what you're doing, you could come to the cocktail hour, but after that, you're going to need to leave. And she agreed to it because she's over here hemming and hawing with Greg about whether they want to be a part of the group. The group is going on without you. Contessa over here trying to convince her to stay. Girl, this is not your event. The people already said that she got to leave. Now she's got to get embarrassed on top of everything because Toya and Simone came over there to tell her, listen, Quad and Heavenly are on their way over here. And so I know you're not trying to be in the same room with them. So it's time for you to go. And Toya's like, and you created this situation. You and your Dr. G. So there's that. So they go down the stairs, skippily, happily down the way, pretending that they're, so excited and, happily ever after. They literally skipped off. Now you got to go back home with that chore while he fusses about being kicked out of the group and it's all your fault. That's a lot of dressing to get to. Hair and makeup and all that just to go somewhere for an hour. I would have just said, listen, it's only an hour. Send you some flowers or something, but I'm not coming over there. But y'all want to be on the show. Letitia keeps talking about this bond with the group. And I'm like, girl, you have not bonded with anyone over here. So now it's time for the second shift. And Heavenly arrives as young Queen Charlotte. And I feel like I told y'all last week, Simone was going to mess it up. Toya was probably going to be on point. A lot were, up for I'm not sure. And Heavenly would go get help. And she came as young Queen Charlotte. And yeah, she looked nice. Damon didn't do all of that. He got a tux. There's, Dr. Damon is only going to do so much. Child, the guests entered the ballroom, and that's where all the things, pomp and circumstance was. They announced all the couples. They got to walk down the stairs. Everybody except Heavenly. She didn't do a great job of walking down the stairs, but I was like, oh my God, the Luxfords missed the whole party. That's embarrassing. You got dressed up to come over there and give out your little, what do they call it? Slam pamphlet. Take your ass home with Dr. Greg. That's so sad. Quad and King look nice. They had, on their royal colors. I didn't love it, but I didn't hate it. Toya changed her dress. I'm very grateful that she changed her dress because I was like, it was so understated. I was so confused by how this is your party. And it's just so understated. So she did her and, Eugene's, um, their costumes look good together. So that, they did the thing, even with the boot that Eugene had on. He makes a speech about, how he became a doctor. He was ready to get out in these Atlanta streets. And then he met LaToya and it changed everything. And they've been together ever since. So love their love story. It's real cute. So pretty much a group of ladies and gentlemen, they're standing around and they're explaining to Quad how Dr. Gregory came to, the conclusion that he wants to coexist within the group. And Quad is not trying to hear that. She said she's not interested, and I don't blame her. Y'all have got to be kidding me. Who gives a shit what Dr. Greg decided? He decided when he marched his little happy ass down to the police department that this is how things were going to have to be. Jerk. Him and his goofy sweet tea. And she's goofy. Quad says she's not asking them to choose. She just wants them to put themselves in her shoes and see, what that feels like. And I'm like, yeah, we already had this conversation, I'm pretty sure, when they were in the sandbar. And every one of them sat there and was like, nope, wouldn't want to do it. Don't bring the ex around. That's not going to be cool. We're not doing that. But you want her to do it. I don't blame Quad. She was like, if you got to lose me, because what's her name? Toya sitting up there saying, we've just lost so many people in the group. And she was like, if you got to lose me, then that's what it's going to be. I don't blame her. Y'all can sit around and figure out how much fun it's going to be to, have Greg and Sweet Tea around. And Toya said everybody's made mistakes. Everybody's made mistakes in the group, even King. And according to Simone, he took the bait. That's why, he is somehow to blame for what took place, I guess. And he did. He took the bait. But I feel like a lot of people took the bait. Like Toya and Mariah. I don't know which one of them started that mess, but they took the bait when they was down to the pool pulling each other's wigs off, flipping over lawn chairs. And Portia took the bait when Kenya kept flapping that bull for horn in her face. And she dragged her across that stage with a weave. And then she cried about it like she was the one that got dragged. And Danielle over there in New Jersey, she took the bait when that lady said slapped the hell out of her. No, it was Danielle slapped Jennifer. I was so glad she slapped Jennifer. That's terrible, but it was like, yeah. Anyway, none of these people called the police. That's my point. There's been a lot of baiting going on over here on Bravo, but as Dr. G is the only one running down to the police department for a fight that never even happened. These people got dragged and punched and slapped. Teresa Giudice over there throwing tables. Dr. Greg's scary ass running off. He was going to hit me. It was going to be a fight to the death. They did their waltz. The waltz was terrible. I didn't like it. I guess I had high expectations. I wanted them to do something. You know what I'm saying? Y'all ain't doing nothing else over here. I got caught up in how Bridgerton be having those real fancy dances. I guess they're doctors and things. I didn't have time for all that. Anyway, next week is the reunion. And it seems like Simone is back on her sister sucker nonsense. Talk about you gave us your ass to kiss. I don't want to hear her say that again, Simone. Sweet Tea has a go at a few of the ladies. There's a few back and forth over there. So is this the group, girl, that's got your back that you want to be coexisting with? In the meantime, y'all know what to do. Like the video, subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you when I see you. Bye, y'all.